So as many of you guys know, I'm a second generation insurance professional, and throughout my career I've had the opportunity to serve on the agency side and the carrier side. But you know, the conversation's always been the same. It's been about the customer life cycle, it's been about the hard market, the soft market, it's been about what's next in the industry. And we're gonna tackle all of those subjects as we get into season 3 of the podcast. We're taking the podcast to a whole new level here. Welcome to the VIP Podcast, Season 3. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the VIP Podcast. I'm excited that you guys are here hanging out with us today. Me and Sid are in studio together. We're like here.
Back in black, baby.
That's right. I'm excited. We are here. And we've got one of our very own to start off, and I'm pumped about it. We've got Vijay Muniswami here hanging out. Hope I got that right. Super pumped that.
Killed it. You killed it.
Oh, that's awesome. You never know. I can't even pronounce Smith right sometimes. So Muniswami, I think I did good there. So guys, I'm going to pass this off. Sid, I want you to give him a proper introduction. But guys, I'm glad you're here. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, okay, so before I introduce the celebrity of the hour,
yes,
let me give you guys a 60,000 foot view on why this conversation is so important.
Please do.
I feel like we talk about salespeople a lot, and no offense to the sales team. They are amazing.
Amazing.
You guys go out and hunt and kill and bring in the business, which is awesome. Mm-hmm. But if you look at a pie chart, and that pie chart shows the number of people in sales versus in service in the insurance industry, in the independent model, I would harbor a guess that the part of the pie chart that shows service people is going to be a little bigger than sales.
I would say so too, for sure. Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
We're in a service industry, a relationship industry.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree
with you. Yes. But for some reason, we don't talk enough about their role and what it takes to make them really competitive in 2024. We just want to focus on the sales, right? We want to focus on, for lack of a better term, the sexy part of the industry.
You just took the words right out of my mouth. Yeah, I think that's right.
And I'm going to tell you, we're bringing sexy back to the service industry. Okay,
yes.
to the service team.
JT would love that.
That's what I'm saying. I played a little JT before this. How did you know?
I was with you. Remember, we were in the same Uber. All right.
So, without further ado, I want to introduce Vijay Muniswami. He is the Senior Director of Product Management and head of a new initiative here at Vertafore focused on making the service team extremely competitive and able to provide the best customer experience in 2024 that's possible. And we call that initiative Project Impact. He is the head of this project. Vijay, we are so excited to have you. We're honored to have you. Welcome.
Dude, welcome.
Thank you, Heath. Sid, I couldn't be happier than talking about Project Impact. It's been extremely fun time for the last 6 months. Excited to talk about all of it with you guys.
Yeah, I first heard of it from the main stage when Amy was talking about it and James, and I was like, I didn't know this was even going on. And then I hear it's even gotten larger as far as the amount of agencies you're working with. Mm-hmm. So, do you want to ask the first question? You want me to?
Yeah,
Tell me about it.
Here's what I figured. I figured maybe we step back for a sec because now we've hyped everybody up.
Oh, yeah, they're pumped. Edge of their seat.
Perfect. So now that you're on the edge of your seat, let me take you back, blast from the past. Vijay, tell me a little bit about your journey at Vertafore.
Oh, good call.
Right?
My bad.
Yeah.
I got excited.
No, it's okay. I got it.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, how far do I go? It's been quite a ride, right? Like this, to be honest, maybe it's 16 years, 17th year as of March. Mm. So I joined Vertafore as part of the ImageRight family when we got acquired back in 2007. So I was one of the original ImageRight crew. And with that, again, all of my life up until last year has been involved with ImageRight as a product, right? Mm-hmm. So ImageRight, then WorkSmart, then all of it. So I played many a role within ImageRight. I was part of the product team, which was quite decent team. And then we downsized from there. I've been through ups and lows of many leadership changes. and ups and lows of ImageRite too. ImageRite is a close to 20, 25-year-old solution. It was built in early 90s, 1992, I would imagine. It was built in Delphi and then changed to Visual Basic and finally to .NET. So where my journey started was I was one of the 29 people that joined the bootcamp of ImageRite on version 3.5, which was built on Delphi. I was the last one on that Delphi version.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, and when I say boot camp was very hard back then. There were 29 people. We had to go through a rigorous boot camp tests every day and quizzes and all that stuff to know your product. Back then, the people that made out of the boot camp was about 13 people. And I could hardly count like 2 or 5 people that are still left with the company that are still here.
Wow.
Rest of right, yeah. So it was that intense. The idea behind it was anybody that goes through the boot camp totally understands the customer from the time that you sell, implement, support all the way through, right? So the overall life cycle of how one person should be able to support any role within the organization was the motive behind that. And I truly believe, like, everybody that went through that boot camp for ImageRite were experts of ImageRite. So that was a great experience. And then it was going on until I led ImageRite from the install solution to, in 2015, we launched 6.0 with Stephen Finch and I. We launched this ImageRite 6.0, which was rebuilt based on the new browser, modern technology, using all of the latest frameworks and things like that. That was very exciting. And since then, it has only been very positive. ImageRite has now made a lot of rounds within the customers, different customers, and now ImageRite is being spoken in the top 3 products of a company, which is very exciting.
Well, and what's so cool is that ImageRite, for those who don't know, and this is what sets you up so well for this new role, ImageRite is geared towards the service team, and it's really geared towards the workflow and creating efficiency in the service workflow, if I'm not misunderstanding the purpose of the tech there, right?
You're absolutely right. So ImageRite was built to replace the file cabinet and basically the documents from desk to desk for people to do their work. So what basically it was is kind of like build your pre-planned workflow processes that were information manual at every agency for how to do your renewals, how to do your endorsements, how to write your new business, how to handle cancellation, auditing, everything, right? And then we basically created these processes within the product, and people get tasks within those steps of the workflow. So that was the whole idea of improving what you mentioned, which is the service experience of the right people work on the right tasks to service the end insured. So that's why I was so excited, and that's why ImageRite is such a known product, right? Because we're trying to solve one of the bigger problems of the industry, which is how do you work effectively and efficiently, and operationally perform well, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Well, and
with
yeah, go ahead.
No, with that, like it was a long time, like since last year, I think like fourth quarter, my role has changed. I will talk about it more of why I'm so excited about my new role.
Yeah, I was just going to say that's the $1 million question, the efficiency question amongst MGA, carrier, and agency.
Right. Yeah, that is that's a very important point that you bring. Like even today, right? ImageRite, not because just I have managed the product for over the 16 years, but ImageRite is truly the one product at Vertafore that is utilized by the entire insurance vertical.
Yeah.
There is the insured or the not the insured doesn't use it. Obviously, like the brokers, the agents, then the intermediary, like the MGAs use it, the wholesalers, and then your carriers use it, and your state departments use it, and also the reinsurers. Some of them are using ImageRite as well. So if you look at the entire insurance vertical, everybody uses it.
Okay, so tell us about your new role, and tell me why. I think people will make the connection, but maybe just so it's solidified in their mind. Tell me why the past with ImageRight sets you up so well for this.
Oh my God,
I can see it on his face,
Yeah.
right? It's
Oh, yeah.
so good.
It is gonna be good.
It's like a new era. It's a new dawn at Vertafore because of this.
when you do the things that you do and you're passionate and you've done it for over many years, right?
Yes.
And there's no more going north, right? Like we have already set up the roadmap for the product to go and complete the browser client, and we're going to roll on, right? So now I was just wondering, like, is this where the buck stops? Like, what else can I do? And the time was appropriate. And then because of a few changes within the organization, then the call came from our lead product leader, James, asking me to help with some important initiatives that, where I could provide like some strategic value and help the organization. I was like very excited. So how can I help? So immediately I started jumping in and saying, like, there's one thing that if I am interested in doing. I've been asking these questions for a couple of years with the managers that I had in the past, which is like, look, I am excited about the workflow. I am excited about how people work within our product. But my limit was only my product, right? Like that let me just look at workflow from within the product, lens. But if you step back and see, we have a number of products, right? Like the agencies use multitude of our products to service the end user. So then a thought came to my mind, which is if I know about the workflow and I can simulate these workflows within ImageRight as a product, a workflow does not actually sit inside a product. A workflow actually sits over products. And that's when I asked for, is there an opportunity to connect our portfolio solutions in a way the agencies use them, right? Like, so naturally, they do this in here, they do that in here to complete a business process end to end. So I'll be part of it and help build along that workflow vision across the portfolio, which again coincides with our new vision of here's how we're modernizing our solution to bring a one into market, which is a suite of capabilities that is built right to cross perform all of the capabilities that you need fulfill a certain workflow.
Yes.
And that's why I'm so excited about the opportunity, and I'm still thankful about it.
Yeah.
But it's also scared. I mean, it's a new environment. It's a new situation, right?
Yeah.
In my past, I knew everything about my product inside out, all the way from the data layer to the application server layer to the logs, everything that you can ever ask, right? But now I have to learn 360. Now I have to learn Sajida. Now I have to learn InsureLink, eDocs, like a lot of these components that actually play well within the agency solutions. I need to know it all, right? To be able to prescribe a workflow and to be able to understand how users use it and be able to prescribe what needs to be modified to make it work the most optimal way it can be.
Yeah.
So, that was a challenge.
Okay.
I lost many nights sleep.
Yeah.
Well,
I can imagine.
Yeah, you bring up workflow, and that being, if you don't call it a buzzword or not, but being something that you could tell a major difference. I think it's the most underrated part of an agency. You can tell the most successful agencies to the unsuccessful agencies. I think you can have the best salespeople, the best service, the best technology, but if you don't have workflows stacked on top of that, you can, completely waste your money, your time, and your effort. That talent's wasted. You've got to have those workflows you talk about.
Preach.
Exactly. And again, see, sometimes what happens in an agency is each person, if they do it their own way, there is no
100%.
standardized way of doing it, right? Everybody gets comfortable with what they do. And that may be right or wrong, but that is suited for that user. But when you look at it from the lens of an agency owner or leadership, right? How does everybody do their work in the most optimal fashion to maximize the potential of agency growth as well as service the customers the right way?
Well, I think another underrated, and I'll let you talk, I promise, but
No,
I'm excited
you're
here.
on a roll.
But another underrated thing is that time is money. I think a lot of agencies, don't look at that enough to realize, or carriers or MGAs, as you mentioned earlier. If you can cut out some of that time, you're going to equal more money for your agency, more revenue, more bottom dollar, whatever you want to call it. And I think you're right on with all of those things and connecting all those dots to what you're doing.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And the workflow, like you mentioned, is very, very important. But having workflow within a product only works to a certain extent. Now we need to take it out of all of the capabilities that the agency uses should be well connected in a way that there are no duplication. There is no duplication of data. There's no
Yes.
redundancy of work
Yes.
people do. There is work that comes in and travels in a straight lane. There is no crooked path, right?
Right.
End to end, faster.
Yep.
And the more
Now you see why he's a celebrity.
I
hope
know.
if they're watching, they can see this.
Okay, so I actually want to play off that though. 'Cause
Jump in it.
seriously, he is a celebrity at Vertafore.
100%.
So I think I saw people trying to get his autograph at the Orange Partner.
I did.
Yeah.
I was
So-
in line. I was in line.
So here's the thing. Here's why this is so crazy to me. Because I've watched, I'm in marketing. I'm not in product. So you have marketing, and then you have sales, and you have product, and you have development, and there's all these areas of Vertafore, and we all play nice with each other, but we also kind of all stay in our own, sandbox. And so I'm watching the product organization, and I'm watching its evolution over the last 2 years, and it went from when I first got here, this sort of fiefdom-esque model where there was a product owner and there were lines, like you said, there's a square box that ImageRight fit in and that you managed. And then there was Agency Zoom, and that was another square box.
Yeah.
And then we have AMS 360, and maybe that was a circle. I'm throwing some shapes in there, all different shapes and sizes. And what's crazy is we're moving away from this what's sort of like isolated island-like model, and with your promotion and with you stepping into head this initiative, you're representing sort of the merging or coming together of multiple products. And so it's really redefining our product strategy from being product first to customer first or client first. And I know we talk about workflows, but that's the change. We went from product first to client first, thanks to Vijay. I'm floored.
100%. And that's what we've been preaching. And so to have, Vijay here, backing up what we've been preaching, like we care about connectivity. We care about being, open with our APIs and all of those things that, some of the listeners may not even understand. But Vijay's doing those things now.
Yep.
Connecting all of our product, helping our end user to be that much better. And I love that. You're exactly right.
All right. So
one thing, I don't want to take all the credit. So
we just wanted to give it to you. It's fine. You don't have to take it.
you guys are very.
We're your hype train. Just call us in the morning when you get up. We'll just dial us. We'll be there.
Exactly. Or play this podcast back.
You heard me say many times that I've been here for quite a long time, right? Like I've never seen I've never been more excited about our leadership, the way that we are thinking, right? This was not a Vijay came up with this idea, right? This was like all the way from the top. Amy came up with this idea. James came up with
that's awesome.
This idea, which is, look, we have great set of solutions. How do we bring them together? So why don't we look at it from a different perspective? So I just happened to be the right piece in the puzzle where they were looking for somebody to lead something this way, and I happened to fit the mold. And they gave me the opportunity, which I'm very, very grateful. And also, it's not just me, guys. Like when you say product impact, I am just the name associated with this. I have a team of people, which is, like you said, Sid, which is unique. Before we siloed, even not only from a product standpoint, right? Even from a department standpoint, I'll be only product management, right? I will be across the wall with development. I'll be working across the wall with customer support and services. And that wall and the shackles have been broken with this project because now I get to work with some of the really sharpest minds in customer success, professional services. My team has leads of customer success for Sajida, leads of customer success from professional services for AMS 360, managers of customer success, design directors. I mean, I have a group of really, really smart individuals that know the business overall, that know their product suite, that know the customer, how well they use it. So when we go the last 6 months across the agencies, we basically across as a team knew all the answers and we could understand all of their problems because we were a team that were made up of all of these different pieces. And that has been the very first time that something like this has ever happened at Vertafore. Not only think about like the products, like how you use the word silo, right, or work in the boxes. That was only from a product perspective. Now we're thinking beyond that, not only product but discipline also. Right, we are working with devs, we're working with professional services, we're working with all of these pieces of the company that we have never done this before.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So tell people what Project Impact is. We know what your role is. We're hearing there's a team behind this. So what is it? How does it work? What are you doing on a weekly, monthly basis? What work has been done?
Okay, so it's a
That's a big question.
Sorry, I should have broken that down.
as you know, I like to talk. I get excited about this stuff, and I'll go on and on. But anyways, where we started was, let's make a team of people, right? We come up with a charter, looking at our solutions. The servicing aspect of our solutions across the portfolio is more than like a half, right? Like it's not a quarter, it's more than that. There is sales, there is all of these things, but the servicing aspect of our solution is bigger. And how do we focus on that persona and understand what are they doing with our solutions or somebody else's solution? What do they do, really? What do they do? So our charter started with, let's go to all of these different agencies, sit with the persona that actually services the customer. And now I want to say that we won't be looking at other personas since like sales and other people, but like for now, our focus is servicing, right? We go in, we sit with these individual users. A servicer is not always one person or one persona. It's a team of individuals, right? Just like our product teams have a product director, a product manager, and a product owner, right? This combines a product team. Similarly, on the agency side, a servicing persona includes your account manager, who's the primary of servicing that customer, all of their needs. And then you have the servicing assistants or the assistant reps or whatever they call it. They have different names for them, processors. So they are doing all of the follow-up works, the emails, the documentation, the getting back to them, and all of those kinds of things, right? And there is another persona that actually works very closer for new business, which is marketing. Now, because it's a hard market, every renewal is also almost like a remarket, like 80% of the time. So the marketer persona is the one that actually works very closely with that, understands the needs of the customer, finds the right market to be able to quote the right policies, right? At the right price, of course. So we sat with all of this group of people. Over the last 6 months, we visited about 7 different agencies. So we visited and sat with like about 100 different people that are personas on this. Not to count all of the managers that we met with. We didn't take them into account because we want to focus on this.
Okay, right? Wait. Can I pause you? You just said that you sat with 100 different people on service teams. 100.
Yes,
that's huge. I love how you just glossed over that. Like, oh, no big deal. 100.
Right, I know.
That's
huge. That's a lot of interviews.
Yeah, it is. Oh, yeah.
I mean, to go and sit with 100, and you're talking, I'm assuming, multiple days.
Yes. So our team usually comprised of 6 people, right? So what we would do is we would go to an agency on day 0, get settled. Day 1 is when we start interviewing the top management of what are your problems. Just give us a general. Where you, right? And who are the people that we need to sit with, like for the first couple of hours. And then we go divide ourselves into groups of 2. Because of 6, we had 3 groups that would sit simultaneously with these different users.
That's awesome.
And we would sit with them for an average of like an hour and a half or 2 hours, just walking through their workflow. Do your work. If you're doing renewals, do it end to end. Show us what you're doing. If you're doing endorsements, do it. And we will interrupt and ask some questions of why are you doing it this way? Why did you enter the same data here twice? And why are you filing it like manually and those types of things, right? We learned a lot of things by just watching them. And again, the user is so passionate, they would stop themselves and they would say, I wish there was this over here. I wish.
I was hoping you'd hear. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is awesome. Go ahead.
There was so much information that is those 2 hours. What we did was we used techniques of Zoom recording. We recorded it, and one of our design leaders who was on our team, Erin, she suggested a tool called Condense that the design team uses. And then we would throw this recording in Condense, and it would give a transcript of everything that we spoke about. What did the user want?
Yeah.
What did speaker 3 say? And we took all of these data from each of us, from each visit, and we put them all together in a big, large Excel file, identified by customer, identified by user, identified
Oh
by
my gosh.
That's amazing.
where this workflow is impacting, what was the specific feedback, and what is the impact if we change this? Like, do they get 5 minutes of time life in their life, or do they get half an hour of time in their life? Right? So we did a lot of these analysis. So over 6 months, we visited all these customers and the users. And what we did was, in the interim, whenever there was no visit, there was like a week's gap somewhere. We planned it that way that we can come back with the data, we can compile the data, we can go through the data and analyze. The 6 team members would sit and analyze every bit of the information and plug them into the right problem areas, right? So we can correlate one customer's problem to another customer's problem. So when we did this over, and again, it was a very tight schedule that we had to do it all. We had to visit, we had to look at all these data, and then we had to even present back to the leadership team as to what we found. And finally, where we arrived is the final output of the data was, we categorized these into these 3 pillars of like data management, task and document management, certificate management, and then you have this just processing efficiency gains and associated things, and new lines of business that we need to support. So we had like 3 or 4 categories of things that we built, and we put a problem statement under that in a meaningful fashion.
Yeah, incredible.
Oh, I have so many questions, but I know you probably have stuff written down. You did your
Let me take a
homework.
pause here, Dave. You can ask the question.
Yeah, you did homework. So if you want to go through yours,
No, listen, I know when you're on a roll, you just gotta
bro.
go. So I feel it. I can feel Heath's excitement. It's radiating from over
I'm so
here.
excited. I'm going to rewind for a second first, and I got to go in a little bit of an order. But dude, okay, so when you're talking to personas, did you get into virtual assistants at all? Did you get into people that use, whether they're from the Philippines or from some other country? Did you get into any of that? Did you see any of that with some of these agencies you worked with?
We didn't, but we got people telling us for what aspect of the functionality they use a service center or somebody.
Yes, that's the next question. Yeah. Okay.
But we did not get the opportunity to interview those guys. We just got it from the account manager and the personas as to which part of responsibility do they fulfill and what it looks like.
So you probably went in with, some preconceived notion or some ideas going in. What was the biggest surprise that you found or that your team found within these 7 agencies and 100 personas? What was the biggest surprise?
The biggest surprise is oftentimes we tend to assume of people how they use our solutions. I was even like just going back to the product that I managed for 16 years. Just within that product, when in the past, let me rewind a little bit. When I used to go in the past, when I was managing ImageRight, I would just ask within that product what they do, and they would give me specific answers of what they do. But I never crossed the boundaries of where in the workflow are you doing this stuff. Now that I stepped outside of the boundary, I'm even surprised of why are you doing this in ImageRight? Why do you have to do this again and over here and there and here? It was like pretty surprising on how we assume that we are providing a lot of efficiency gains in some areas where we might not be, right? And again, we've done a great job so far, like, putting our solutions together. But what surprised me was there is so much area for improvement that we could go another level and make their lives like so incredibly great. Which is why, I just wake up every day thinking about this great opportunity that lies in front of us.
Well, and I think to your point, we've been focused on best-in-class products, and we have created best-in-class products. I mean, AMS 360, ImageRight, Agency Zoom, PL Rating. These are, if you look at each product, it's best of the market, right? But best-in-class tech stack, that's a different lens. That's a different lens, and you're looking through that lens. And so it's not to say that we haven't done a ton of work and that the products aren't incredible, but it's just a different lens.
It is.
more opportunity.
One of the things, to your point, that I've noticed a surprise being here a year now is this great technology we talk about, still people only use it to 50 or 60% of their capacity. At least that's the percentage I put on it. Mm-hmm. You may have a different percentage that people use, but I feel like if you're listening to this right now and you have one of our core products, you probably don't use it to its fullest capacity and you don't even realize it. And so to that point, I think Vijay's saying, from what I'm hearing, is there's so much more out there that our products can do to help you with efficiency that we didn't even know was there. Mm-hmm. Maybe even us as, the three of us here maybe not realize, but is that what I'm hearing you say? And can you talk to that a little bit?
Absolutely hit the nail on the head. We have the right solution.
I hit the nail on the head.
We have the right solutions in place. We just got to change the puzzle a little bit of connecting them together a little better, right? Because now you're not taking the optimal path for your workflow from point A to point B. You're kind of like doing a little bit of zigzag here and there, but there is so much opportunity to fit them like a glove within our Agency One vision. It's going to be so incredibly good. The thought process of building this platform of solutions in a way that nobody can build it like us because of what Sid said. We have best in class of everything. Our competitor might have one solution that does all of the things, maybe 50% of the time right, mm-hmm. for everything. Mm-hmm. We have greatest solution for each capability is great in itself. Where we can improve is bringing them together in a way that nobody else can. Oof. It's just, yes.
Yeah.
I felt that. Okay, so what can we expect? I know we don't have too much time left, but what can we expect in 2024? Like, when are... I know you guys are going through the process of working in combination with other product owners and getting on roadmaps, and so don't give away the secret sauce on exactly what's coming, exactly when, because we gotta tease people.
We do. Maybe a few ingredients, but
maybe
exactly.
not
all of it. Yeah.
But what can they expect in terms of just rough timeline, coming out and what products, etc.
This is incredibly exciting, right? Yeah. So we went to the conference, you guys were there, and we announced a couple of things that were already getting implemented as part of Project Impact in 360 and Sajida, which is like copying policy numbers. It's as simple mm-hmm. as that, mm-hmm. which allows them to put it in a carrier website or whatnot instead of typing the 12, 13 digit, things over and over again. People were applauding. People were just crazy about those types of things because those personas really, really care about those things. Mm-hmm. Right? And now what I'm excited is I just came out of the PI planning with Sajida. I watched the Sajida and 360 as well. Some of these items are already being planned for PIJ, which is very, very exciting. And before, when people will only look at the product's main types of things like they are focused on. But now seeing all these great product leads, I'm telling you again, I'm so excited about the current leadership that we have for each of the products. They were explaining in their vision statements to everybody in the team, and there are three important things. One of them is the Agency One strategy, Project Impact, and these things are basically must do. There is no way, if no but, this is how we do it. This is how we are finding success. So we're able to accommodate these three important things that we need to, put in front of the CS, the account manager persona in the next year. Mm-hmm. In PIJ, and Sajid is able to pull 4 or 5 items. They were so exciting. And then we were starting on all of these click saves and get some smaller wins, right? Which is still huge for these users. And then we'll slowly navigate into building newer lines of business that we don't support, like crime, like cyber, transportation, like EPLI, and all of these other things, which I'm going to save that for later. There's a lot of exciting things that'll come, not necessarily all in 24, because there are many things that we found. And this is not one and done, right? So it's a continuous evolution of things as we find and we address. Not always the user tells us everything that they want or everything they are struggling with. We may find some new curveballs that are coming at us, which is what about this? It totally makes sense. We will make sure that it is heard, and our leaders work across the teams to get that in the plan.
Yeah. Okay. So you go.
Hit it. No,
no, you made the hand move first. You dropped the mic. Go.
I hit the buzzer first?
You hit the buzzer.
All right. Okay. You visited with 7 agencies, 100 different personas there. Is there a step to go into carriers or MGAs and do the same similar project, or is this just an agency situation?
This one is currently purely agency focused.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, and I was going to follow up to that. It's like we're reading each other's
Right?
minds.
Love it.
When I looked in your eyes, I could see the universe. No, I'm just kidding. We don't want to leave
okay.
salespeople out. Are we going to do the same thing for the sales persona? Maybe accounting, maybe ops, maybe agency owner? Like, how far does this go?
I think, which is why, initially our thoughts were just servicing is a big thing, right? Like we need to make guys, personas the star of our suite. They are the stars of our suite. And then once we complete and we do right by them, and then we have focus on other personas like accounting, supporting personas like accounting, sales, all of these other things. Definitely, again, this project has so much room to grow. Mentioned in one of the meetings, this project has legs, right? It can go if you focus, if you build your charter the right way and you go focus on those particular elements. Like I said, I truly believe in my heart, we can be the best of the solution stack in the industry.
Oh, same. I wouldn't be here if I didn't think that.
I completely agree.
So before we wrap, I do want to give a very special shout out to the unsung heroes in the agency world. We do not give the team that represents us to clients enough credit. They are just an amazing group of people. They take a lot of brunt, I would say, being on the front lines. And they come to work every day with a smile on their face, wanting to make other people's day better. And I think at root, that is the mission behind Project Impact, is to give them the same experience that they give other people
100%.
day in and day out, right? How can we do for them what they do for others, really? And Vijay, I could not be more excited to see somebody like you, leading the charge on this front. I'm just so excited.
And to that, to follow up on that, is there anything as we wrap up that you could say to those service people that were the unsung heroes? Is there anything like some encouragement, some things that you might be able to say to them just to give them a little bit of extra oomph this morning or this afternoon, or if they're running the treadmill, whatever's going on here? Could you give a little something there for them?
We are completely motivated and goal-oriented to save 2 hours during every single day of the month.
It's like he knew. It's like, we didn't even script that. That was, oh my God.
It won't stop. It won't stop until we hit that goal.
They're fired up now.
Yeah, 100%.
There
The
may be
treadmill
some-
just went to 8.0.
Yeah, it did.
2.0 incline, baby. All right, Vijay, thank you so much. For those of you who are curious about what's next for Project Impact, well, I can't talk.
Okay.
I'm just excited. And want to keep in touch with what Vijay and his team are doing, then look out for the tech stack email, look out for the radar, check out social media. We will be keeping you guys in the loop on all things Project Impact throughout the rest of 2024 and into 2025. Vijay, thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
All right. Heath, do you want to... I can't talk today.
That's okay.
Do you want to close us out, man?
Sure.
Don't forget to tell people to hit subscribe. Just whatever you do.
I won't. Okay, got it.
Punch it, hit it,
all of the
bop
things.
it.
Guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us and getting excited as we did with Vijay. Hope that your heart rate came down a little bit after hitting that 8.0 on the treadmill.
With a 2.0 incline.
That's right, or 4.0. On the, there may be some hustlers out there. But anyhow, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us today. Do make sure you hit the subscribe button. Go to YouTube. Make sure you do it on wherever you listen to podcasts, whether it's Apple, Spotify. It doesn't matter where it is. Make sure you subscribe there as well. Leave us some comments. Let us know how you feel about it. And we'll see you on the next one.
We can't wait. See you then, guys.